Hello, greetings, high impact entrepreneurs. Nekan will be coming on live. Trust that you're all well. Let me know where you are watching this from. Thanks for all the comments you've posted. Today, I want to begin a series. I'm going to call it a series because I have probably about 10 different points, right, of how to scale your business. I'm probably going to just take one or two today. And it's really important, having that. How do you scale your business in tough times? In some countries in Africa, probably most countries are experiencing tough times. And so when you talk about a tough market, let's first define what a tough market is. What will constitute that? One is economic downturn, number one. I'm sure countries in Africa, right? I can think immediately of Nigeria, of Ghana, Kenya. The currencies have been devalued. I know in Nigeria, when it was 800 naira to the dollar, and we were like, oh, this is so high, because we knew when it was 500 naira to the dollar. Some people may go back and say when it was, even the dollar was more valuable than the naira. But let's forget that. Just within the past 1.5 years. And now it's almost like at some point it went to 1900 naira to a dollar. I believe it's about 1500. Now that's a tough market. I'm on the chair of a board that 50% of our expenses were dollar denominated. When we approved the budget in December of 2023, that's just 7 months ago, no one would have said, even the budgets, even the federal government, that things will go up almost 10 times or double, triple, and we're even making not so high margins. So what then do you begin to do? So this is really, how do you pivot? How do you scale? Right? So I experienced it real life in Ghana as well, the devaluation in Kenya. So as a business owner, as a micro business owner, as a small business owner, what do? You have to survive. You have to not even just survive. You can thrive, but you have to be intentional about that. And hopefully this series is going to be, I'll share some insights. I'll share some thinking around what you could do. But there are also those who are thriving in this community. So I welcome you to share your ideas. I'll probably have 1 or 2 guest speakers just share also what they're doing differently, so that we can help each other in this community to thrive. So one is first understanding a tough market, what it is, and dealing with the reality. It's not enough to just say, oh yeah, these are hard times, what do we do? But then also the importance of recognizing the external factors, meaning that there are some things you cannot change about it. Right, I just talked about the exchange rate, where we moved from 800 naira to a dollar to now 1900, and we have to convert the money to dollars to pay our suppliers. What do you do? The second is obviously stay informed, right? Because things will just move so quickly. News keeps changing. Already this year alone, the currency has probably changed 3-4 times in as many months. The second is to assess, and so this is just really the introductory. Assess your current business model. What is your current business model? And how can you shift that? In the example I told you, about 50-60% of our expenses, of our direct expenses, were outside the country because it's very high skills. So we started we needed to do something about it to really reduce that, almost shut down an international operation and begin to source that locally. So drastic environmental factors cost or necessitate drastic action. So may I ask you, what's the one thing you can do around your business model to shift immediately? It may mean, if you have an office, to move your things home and have become a virtual business, right? So one really has to think about that, and that's evaluating. You have to consider, what's the strength of my business? Strength is what you possess internally. When I say you, I mean you individually as the entrepreneur, and you, the organization, as the business. What's your weakness? So those are internal things. You may be like, I'm so short of cash. I have no credit line, right? So I'm unable to function. So really objectively evaluating where you are. And then what are areas for improvement? One area obviously is technology, and that's one of the areas to scale. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about today. Actually, probably the only one, because I'm kind of looking at the time as well. Is your areas of improvement. There is always a way you can improve in technology, right? And that would tie to almost everything. So how technology savvy are you? Because that is a way you can really, really reduce your costs. Then, given that things are changing so quickly, you have to know the importance of very regular financial health checks. So if you are doing your books once a month, you probably need to do it now every week or even every day at the end of the day, so that you can plan and say, okay, how much money do I need? What do I need to do tomorrow? What do I need to do this week? Who can I get an advance payment from, right? And so just looking at that ever so often now becomes very important. And it says that cash is king. So cash is king. How much cash do you have in the bank? In the United States and all, there are easier ways. I must acknowledge that, where you have like your credit cards and your lines of credit. In other countries in Africa, if things are a bit buoyant, you may consider going to have an overdraft facility, because it's really when things are good that you can actually have an overdraft facility in place. You may not need it now, but just do that to have as a buffer for you. So your financial. So one, I've talked about your financial health check. I've talked about your understanding your cash flow, right? Money coming in and money coming out. And then your cost structures, right? I just alluded to where this business that I chair, I'm the chair of the board. Our cost structure was 55% foreign currency. Well, we needed to take that down as quickly as possible to probably 10% of our expenses, right? So that's something you can do, right? So there's an issue, giving you a solution, and so this is something that you can do immediately. The second of the 10 items I have to talk about around scaling your items is leveraging technology. The power in technology. On a scale of 1 to 10, post below to what extent are you leveraging technology in your business. That's one of the sure ways you can use to scale your business. Another personal example, I had acquired a practice that was fully traditional, physical, with like many offices. And within a year, I was able to convert it to mostly hybrid, where I can be anywhere, and it's just the power of technology. So I can be anywhere and attend to my clients without them having to meet me, leveraging Zoom, the online telephones, right? WhatsApp, even marketing expenses, right, can be reduced. I mean, in my example, just my fixed overheads, just rent and all that, I reduced by almost about 80%, right? So that's how, to the extent that you can leverage technology. And of course, in technology, you can improve operations with it. You can enhance customer engagement and improve data management. So I'm going to pause here today. I really talked about just one item, really more of an introduction. And the first, just as a recap, was understanding tough markets. What's the nature of the market? What extent do you have control? Because you may be saying, oh, things are so bad, but it's out of your control. So it's either you're going to sink or swim against the tide. And so I'm going to help you to swim against the tide. The second item I've talked about is assess your current business model. Evaluating that with looking at the strengths, the weaknesses, and areas of improvement, and not just thinking about it. Have a document, have a notebook for how am I going to scale my business. And I talked about the importance of very regular health checks, financial health checks, understanding your cash flow and cost structures. And then one item I've talked about in scaling your business is leveraging technology, right? Technology is absolutely essential here. You can have a fully leverage technology business, a fully technology enabled business completely. And that's the advantage of being a small business. Then you can be agile. You can expand to bigger markets right through technology. So I hope this has been helpful. I'll be back live next week, and post your questions, your comments below, what you would like me to talk more about. And until then, have a great rest of the week and see you then.